watching NBC4, live from the area's leading news station. This is News 4 at 5.
Changes could be coming to the ocean, and what might impact, and that impact could impact what's on your dinner table. Oh, there are troubles brewing beneath our seas. The problem, all the CO2 we put into the air. It's making our oceans increasingly acidic, and that pH imbalance could wipe out 1 million sea creatures. A documentary about the problem and solutions debuts tomorrow at the D.C. Environmental Film Festival. It's called A Sea Change. I talked to the filmmakers about the alarm they're trying to sound.
Ocean chemistry is being altered on a scale not seen for millions of years, and we don't know what the consequences will be.
What's in our air ends up in our oceans, and our air is now filled with skyrocketing levels of CO2 from all the fossil fuels we burn to propel our modern life. This year alone, 2 billion tons of CO2 will be absorbed in the ocean. The documentary, A Sea Change, takes us on a journey above and beneath the seas to show us what the damage will do and ask the question, is it too late?
It is absolutely daunting, but there is one element that is the culprit, and that is CO2. So the big message is to somehow make our country and the entire world focus on cutting CO2 emissions. That is absolutely imperative.
Filmmaker Barbara Ettinger enlists her husband, Sven Huseby, to be our guide. He's a Norwegian who comes from a long line of fishermen. We follow him as he travels the world discovering the problems and looking for solutions. We learn about the pteropods, these tiny, fragile sea creatures at the base of our food chain. The acids in the ocean is destroying their tiny shells. And along the way, we meet Sven's grandson, Elias, whose generation will inherit our troubled waters if we don't act now.
I realized that this was a film about moral justice. It really was, do we owe to our grandchildren and their children the opportunity to have the kinds of hopes and dreams that we've taken for granted in our own lives.
A sea change sounds an alarm, and the filmmakers are hoping it will get the public and the policymakers' attention.
I can't think of a better place to be having this movie than right here in Washington, D.C.
It has a message, but it also has a vision. It is filled with wondrous views of the glories beneath our seas and the creatures, great and small, that need to inhabit this great place for all time. A Sea Change debuts tomorrow at the D.C. Environmental Film Festival at the Museum of Natural History, 3:30 in the Barrett Auditorium. It is free. For details, go to NBCWashington.com and search Going Green. And I'm going to be there, 3:30 tomorrow. The filmmakers will be there. There'll be a panel. This is supposed to be a beautiful film. I can't wait to see it.
Cool. All right. Coming up next on News 4 at 5, some are calling it the silver lining of the...